The small town was built around the skeletal remains of a trading ship, long since lodged on a reef of large, sharp boulders. The air hung heavy with the smell of salt, fish, and damp, rotting wood. As Arawen and Humpscar walked toward the tavern, a bald man stumbled in front of them. He reeked of cheap ale and stale sweat, and his words were a thick, slurred mess. "Say, you two lovely ladies," he slurred, "could you spare a coin for a thirsty fellow?" Humpscar's nose wrinkled in disgust. "I might. But what's it worth to you? My coins don't come for free." The man looked down at the broken sword in his hand, a heavy, chipped bastard sword that had slipped from his belt earlier. The sight of it brought a fresh wave of shame and anger to his face. He held it out with a shaking hand. "My sword," he offered. Humpscar took it with a disdainful sigh. She pulled the blade free of the sheath, revealing the snapped edge, and scoffed. "And it's a broken one at that." She tipped the sheath upside down, and the other half of the blade clattered onto the planks of the crosswalk. With a sour expression, she reached into her bag, pulled out a coin pouch heavy with gold, and tossed it to him. Then, with a flick of her wrist, she launched the sword and it scabbard into the water with a splash. She didn't even look back as she continued on toward the tavern. "Humpscar," Arawen gasped, a wave of shock washing over her. She watched her companion's retreating form, a sharp anger flaring in her chest. Arawen unslung her small backpack. "Stay right here," she said to the bald man, her voice firm. She handed him her cloak and sword, then sat on the edge of the wooden crosswalk to pull off her boots and socks. She could feel the rough, damp planks beneath her bare feet. The water was cold, but not freezing. It hit her with a shock that quickly faded as she swam toward the sinking metal. In less than 2 minutes, she had retrieved both pieces of the sword and the scabbard. She climbed back onto the crosswalk, dripping wet, and pieced the blade back into its sheath. She handed it to him with a warm smile. He felt a deep flush of embarrassment, unable to believe she had jumped into the harbor for a broken blade. "My name is Arawen. It's a pleasure to meet you." "And yours?" she asked. "Bob," he managed to say. "Thank you." Arawen could see the genuine gratitude in his eyes. He wasn't a town drunk, she was sure of it. He had the broad shoulders and calloused hands of a fighter, and there was a pride in his posture that had nothing to do with the alcohol. And he kept his sword, even when it was broken. "That says a lot." "Bob," she said, pulling on her boots. "If you'll be so kind as to escort us to the tavern, I'll buy us both some food. It's the least I can do." He quickly fell into step behind her, a new sense of purpose in his stride.